would like to ask Arbjan from Albania, who is the director of the Agenda Institute and has been invited by one of our partners in this event, by Solidar, to develop a bit what is this kind of, is there an accession fatigue, or is there still this kind of mood that there is a need to come as quick as possible, become a member of the European Union? Arbjan, it's up to you. 5 minutes.
Hello, and first of all, I want to thank you for putting the Balkans in the agenda. Europe has an unfortunately long history of moments where some problems that it had out there, it ignored them, wishing that they would go away on their own, only to find them again bigger and more troublesome around the corner. And potentially the Balkans can be one of those cases, as history has proven quite a few times over and over. A few days ago in Albania there was Europe's Day, and it is the case quite often around the world, and especially our part of the world. There was festivities, and there was like a big concert where all the diplomats and the Albanian government and MPs were there. One of the singers, after finished singing a few songs, a renowned individual in Albania, congratulated the crowd for Albania getting the candidate status. The guy who was moderating had to tell him that, you know what, Albania does not have the candidate status. The guy shrugged his shoulders and said, okay, fine, what is that to me? In a way, concealing a feeling that it's out there among some people that what is this big talk about that candidate status? What is that to me as an individual? In a way, the Albanian government has unfortunately caught on this feeling, on the feeling that not necessarily there is that much backup of support for the candidate status in the public as there was for the visa liberalization until a year and a half ago. And it has started to shift up to a certain level the talk from EU integration as a major priority. Every public discussion from everyone in Albania was focused on EU integration until recently. And now you're seeing a lot more talk about the economic development. And in a way, this has started to, there is not a direct discussion of how this economic development can be a different pattern than EU integration, but in a way, it's taking always more and more time from the EU integration discussion in the country. Combined with also some very funny foreign policy moves, like frequent visits to Azerbaijan, to Turkey, Hungary, or fostering relations to China, there is a funny feeling that in a way, maybe EU integration, if it's not really happening, if it won't really happen in the short term, then we should be potentially looking for alternatives. It's subtle, it's not a major concern, but there is some signs of it happening. From this perspective, I think that the forces in there are, in a way, I would say four. From one perspective is the government, which it has an interest on EU integration happening, but it's not an impeding strong interest. In a way, it doesn't want more people breathing down its neck. Even if it gets the candidate status this autumn, it will eventually come with a lot of, a big bundle of conditionality that it will have to do later on. And there is not a process of many things happening soon, even after the candidate status. On the other hand, even the EU member states are almost, in a way, hoping that Albania would fail some of its conditionality, so that they are justified on saying, you know what, we gave you a set of conditions, you didn't feel them, too bad for you, we're going to talk about something different. While there is still among the, and that's the other part of the equation, among the population of Albania, a very big, strong desire to move forward on the process. About 85% of the people in a recent survey showed fervent desire to join the EU and to move forward on the process. So at least from that perspective, the feeling is still there when it comes to the public. The Commission also has a relatively positive feel towards it. It's one of its targets. It wants to make it happen. So they're showing some signs of wanting this process to go forward. The problem with Albania is that with so many troubles around, one of the persons working there says that the folder of Albania is so small that it can easily be lost on a desk full of other folders and files. So there is that risk as well. To wrap up and to say what can be done and what can be done to move forward, I think one of the things that the Europe can do is to and Brussels can do is to change in a way its diplomacy means towards the Balkans from negotiations that happen strictly with the governments, as if the governments and institutions will be the only thing to join the EU, towards a discussion directly with the people and forge a coalition with the people in the region. I talk specifically of Albania, which have a fervent desire to join the EU, and in a way quit with the politically correct Eurospeak and speak directly to the people in simple, understandable language on what can be done and what should be done. Visit Albania more frequently, even though there is, in a way, then every visit it's discussed and debated, but talk directly to the people and engage in active public diplomacy. Thanks.